Good morning. Happy Sunday. There are so many lies that Earl David Warden is told, it's really hard to figure out which ones to talk about. I'm going to talk about 4 of his biggest lies, and I'm going to talk to you about them, or at least what I consider to be his biggest lies. I know other people consider the recording of an officer saying that he was going to rape Buck G would be among Earl's biggest lies. I know there are others out there. But these are the ones that I consider, these are the ones that I have evidence of, these are the ones that I'm going to spend the time talking about. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because Earl has just accused me, along with other people, who have been at least in my Discord at some point in time, and some who haven't been in my Discord, of trying to kill him. So, I mean, take that with the knowledge that you're going to get about Earl being a congenital liar. So we're going to start at the beginning. This is a Deer Park interview from December 11th of 2017. And there's just a lot to unpack here. We're going to listen to a little bit of this, and we're going to go through some crazy things here.
When did you work for the government?
After I got in trouble. How about that?
Who'd you work for?
So he worked for the government after he got in trouble. And by got in trouble, he means after he got convicted of his first offense, which was the rape. That was the second offense. First offense, 1985. So he was convicted in 86. He was convicted in 86 because the date of disposition was 86, January 23rd of 1986. Oh, by the way, this is a public record. This is the Texas Public Sex Offender website. You can see the URL up there. The government is required to notify people about sex offenders because sex offenders are predators, and people should be made aware of who they are so that they can protect themselves from those sex offenders. So after 86 is when he worked for the government.
I initially worked for the government. I worked for a government agency, that I cannot name because I have a confidentiality agreement with Homeland Security.
He initially worked for a government agency. He can't name it because he had a confidentiality agreement with the Department of Homeland Security. Now, Don Shipley, the guy who busts the fake Navy SEALs, always says that is a bullshit thing for people to say. There is no agency that they can't disclose that they worked for. So there you go. And since the Department of Homeland Security was formed in 2002, it is very unlikely that he actually had any such agreement. Now, remember, Earl Warden was busted in 80. He was arrested in 85. He was convicted in 86. Before he was arrested in 85, he was on basically ready reserve to be a military policeman in Pasadena, Texas. We know where he was. He was in Texas, right? Now, that was from 1982. So that looks like it is October of 82 through the date of, this is when they let him go because he got arrested for sexual assault. They're just going to let him go. So he had essentially 3 years of active reserves. And then before that, he had 3 years of being in, it looks like. Oh, and in those, you could go into some of the details, but he was working, I don't know if I have it in here, but he was working I have it in one of my videos. He was working as a security guard for his father at the time he originally was arrested. He was working for his father as a security guard where he was providing security for a couple of auto dealerships. Him and his brother apparently stole a car from there, and Earl would take the security guard vehicle and pull over women and rape them because, that's the kind of guy he is. He is, once again, a sexual predator. sexual predator.
And I was tasked to the U.S. Marshal Service, and I worked in South America, chasing fugitives in South America.
He was working in South America. When was he working in South America? Now remember, he was arrested in 85. He did a very short stint, and then he was out on shock probation. So sometime after 86, then he was working at a bar where in 1992, he was arrested on a weapons charge. 1992, May 6th of 1992, was the date of his sentence. So somewhere before then was a weapons charge. He was back in prison from 99 to 03. Oh, wait. He was sentenced again in 98. He was back in prison 99 to 03. I mean, the guy's been in and out of prison. So when was he in South America? Why would he be in South America?
After I got in trouble, I continued to work for the government to a contractor.
After he got in trouble, he did some time in jail. Then he worked as a security guard for a bar. I mean, when?
What'd you get in trouble for?
Sexual assault.
Okay.
1985, 86.
And they still hired you?
They continued to use me because I had a lot of contacts. And
they continued to use him. So apparently they were using him before, which, again, doesn't make sense. But he says he has a lot of contacts.
The area that I was working for a variety of reasons. But anyway,
It's interesting.
it's more common than you realize. I did that for a while, and that's it. That's the short version on that.
I just want to compliment these two police officers, by the way, for maintaining straight faces, knowing that he is just lying to their face.
So you were actually working for the U.S. Marshals?
Before I got in trouble, I was tasked to the U.S. Marshals.
Tasked, okay.
Do you understand the word tasked?
Yeah.
Lent to them.
Yeah.
Lent to them because when I was in the military, I spent my time in Europe, and so I had a lot of contacts there in South.
In the military, he en route to Germany. He arrived in Germany in 1981, on September 28th of 1981, and then he went back to the U.S. on October 7th of 82. That is a year. He was there for a year. 1 year as a senior security guard. 1 year to the A Battery 6th Battalion 52nd. I don't know what that is. But it was a artillery company. So, I mean, what contacts could you get?
South America, there were a lot of World War II fugitives, Nazis that had fled to South America. There
He's a Nazi hunter, kids.
were also a lot of Americans that were fleeing down there. So I had
Argentina?
Argentina in particular, but not just Argentina. The whole area down there was in the 80s a haven for Americans to flee to as well.
So in the 80s, he is claiming that he was working in South America. In his shock probation, he left the country? Or before, when he was in the military? Because remember, kids, he was in the military from 79 to 85. We know exactly where he was, except when he went AWOL, because, we know exactly where he was for most of his military career. And he was in Germany for 1 year. When would he have been in South America?
So having somebody down there with contacts was handy for them. So,
and just in case you're thinking that maybe his German is something that's going to save him, in his 1 year in Germany, this is the German he picked up. Now, you won't find this video because he's privated it, but he pretended to have PTSD when an officer started talking to him.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
No. You have an ID?
Nein.
ID?
Identification?
Yes.
Identification? Huh? Is that how you say it in German?
Identifizierung. Identifizierung. Identifizierung.
I don't think he said it right. I think his German is shit, and I would love to hear his Spanish or his Portuguese. because I think it's pretty obvious that Earl's a liar. He never was in Argentina. Now, this is from Bunny Boots Discord. You can see that News Now Houston is blue. He is a verified troll, or I'm sorry, verified activist. I'm the troll. But I was also verified at the time. So we're talking about that. So he was arrested at 24. And okay, he was born in 61. He was arrested in 85, right? We know these things. This is pretty simple and easy to work out. He was born in 61. He was arrested in 85. That's 24 years. He was convicted in 86, but he was arrested when he was 25. July 4th, 1985. So he hadn't, in fact, turned 24 yet. Let's see, because, yeah, he would turn 24 in September. Anyway, that's a minor point, neither here nor there. So you raped that woman when you were a federal agent? That's pretty interesting. No, he had resigned already. Well, that's a different story now. Now he had applied to Houston PD and was waiting to go to their academy. No record of that anywhere. There is no record of that anywhere. Fort Riley, Kansas, then off to West Germany. Bader Meinhof gang was at their pentacle at that point. We were bumping heads with them pretty consistently. Terrorism before it became trendy. As a security guard. He was a security guard. Complete, utter bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit. Then, Olmos Park happened. 2018. June of 2018. You see this in his hand? This is the mythical jump drive. This is the flash drive that he claims has on it evidence, damning evidence that he had to give to his attorney to give to the Justice Department. Boy, those guys at, not Olmos Park, Leon Valley. Those guys at Leon Valley, they were going down, kids, weren't they? Well, then it turns out that that was a lie. And he says that Leon Valley's made attempts to gain access to his emails, address, book, YouTube account, etc. They're conducting he meant witch, W-I-T-C-H hunt. Meantime, we have them. People on the inside say they fired several people because they feared they were our source. For the purpose of trolling Leon Valley, I may have exaggerated what we have a small bit, but there is some good stuff in the hands of lawyers, not me on standby. Again, it's just bullshit and backpedaling. Who was fired in Leon Valley? We can actually see Leon Valley, you could see who their employees are. Nobody was fired. Not a single person was fired over this. And if they wanted to gain access to your emails, address book, and YouTube account, they would have done a subpoena. And I think they did as far as I think they did in fact do that. And I believe they tried to quash that in the civil case. But it is in fact another lie. So this was the big one, the jump drive video. Now, again, he had this video on his YouTube, but he privated it because, once again, it's damning. It's just damning evidence. What else do we have? We had the firearm that turned out to be black powder, but there's this one. This one is what I thought was great. He said, as for placing my life in danger, you truly are clueless. I've been attacked twice in the last 2 years. Ambushed is a better term. Once in my driveway not long after I testified against Sergeant Chapman, 14 shots through my windshield, and a second time about 9 months ago on the freeway. 2 shots, only one connected, again through the windshield. So don't tell me when, if people are trying to hurt me. I used to make a big deal about not carrying weapons and or auditing with them. These events are what caused the shift in strategy and my going armed with the caliber able to deeply penetrate car sheet metal. Now, this was back when he was still pretending that he was carrying a 44 Magnum and not a 44 black powder because he's a fucking liar. But nowhere do any of these appear. There's no police reports on any of these. There's no news stories on any of these. I posted a picture of a guy who he drove by to see these vehicles. That was the purpose of him driving by. Guess how many bullet holes were in any of News Now Houston's vehicles? Exactly 0. All of his vehicles were parked out in front of his trailer. Every single one of them. Earl even claims to have been home and to have seen this guy. No bullet holes. Somewhere he said that he ended up giving the bullet to the police to verify, and it turned out that they were a type of bullet commonly used by police officers, and that's how he knows it was the police who attempted to do this. It's just all bullshit. Then this is just another one. Krista Hemming, remember? He's going to get Krista Hemming disbarred because he was her client. That was a year and a half ago. There you go. No discipline. If you think that there's a disciplinary hearing coming up, nothing. Krista Hemming is not in trouble. It does not appear that Krista Hemming was representing Earl. So, I don't know what to tell you, but the dude's just full of bullshit. So then we have this. Cult hit team made an attempt on my life today. That's a pretty brazen allegation. Made an attempt on my life today. Now, where was Earl? Who knows? Earl claims to have been at this open carry rally, or it wasn't actually an open carry rally. There was a bar that put on an event, music event, and to make some money during the shutdown, during the bar closures because of this coronavirus pandemic. And Open Carry Texas went there to support this. And I have to remind you that Open Carry Texas, they carry. That's the point of that whole club, that activist group. They're all carrying firearms. So if somebody was going to do a hit, why the fuck would they do it at an Open Carry Texas event that Earl wasn't even at? Why would they do it somewhere where Earl was surrounded by armed men? Doesn't make any sense. But Earl doesn't go to Open Carry Texas events anymore because Pigman Jojo pointed out that Earl was a known felon walking around with a real firearm, not the black powder. So Earl doesn't go there anymore because Earl's on bond. And Earl is known to go there now. Pigman Jojo posted videos about it. Pigman Jojo straight up called Earl out. Now, I've never met Pigman Jojo. I've never talked to Pigman Jojo. I've seen some of his videos. He's never come to my Discord. He's never sent me any private messages. He's never emailed me. He's never called me. I have not communicated with him once. So I don't know why Earl wants to say this guy's part of the Manson Merb cult. I mean, it's a stupid name anyway. I don't know why I have to be involved with this. I have done my best to distance myself from the fucking retards who pull stunts. But I guess, whatever. If I'm still the boogeyman of the community, I guess that's my lot in life. But it'd be stupid for someone to threaten his life at this event. And then we get to let's go here first. He can't show you the video of what happens before, but he can show you because he's turned it over to his attorney because they're going to go get protective orders of some sort. I'm not sure actually what he's trying to get. Texas, to the best of my knowledge, I did a quick check, doesn't have a civil harassment restraining order or a firearms restraining order. But they do have what's called a peace bond, which doesn't really restrain anybody. It just says they have to put a bond up, or if they break the law, then they not only will get arrested for whatever they did, but they'll lose that bond. And that's for 1 year, or maybe some sort of a restraining order. If Earl's going to file a lawsuit, you can get a restraining order a temporary restraining order that will last until the lawsuit can be completed. But I'm not sure what he thinks he's going to do, and I'm not sure why he doesn't release whatever video he has if it's so damning, because just releasing the video and showing people what happened changes nothing. It changes nothing. If there is a lawsuit that's going to get filed, Earl will have to turn over whatever video evidence he plans to submit to the judge. He'll have to give that to the other side in discovery. So, it makes no sense. Earl is hiding it. He doesn't have a good reason to hide it, but Earl's claiming to be hiding it without a valid reason because he doesn't have it. That's why. So then he has to show us the auditor Truth freaking out in court. And yes, auditor Truth did freak out in court. The guy's a few sandwiches short of a picnic. He might be a smart enough fella, but he's certainly lacking in common sense. So this guy, Earl alleges, took off his plates. That is verified, right? Ran over somebody. Earl claims that he ran over an off-duty police officer's foot. He had his foot run over. Well, wouldn't that be hit and run? Wouldn't that be leaving the scene of an accident? Something? And yet, at the end of the video, Auditor Truth gets a criminal trespass warning and leaves. I don't even know if he gets a ticket. I don't really care. I did think it was kind of hilarious that Auditor Truth goes out of his way to remove the plates and begs for mercy to be able to drive down the road before he puts the plates back on, only to have the cop read his license plate number into his radio. Now, for those of you who are concerned about your license plate numbers, you're a fucking idiot, because DMVs don't release the information associated with license plate numbers. It's not open records request kind of stuff. So don't worry about it. As an attorney, I can fill out a form to get information, but I have to show that there is an active lawsuit underway. And, I have to swear under penalty of perjury that this is related to the lawsuit, etc. So it's not just commonly available. These auditing retards aren't going to be able to get it. But this is the assassin. This is the assassin. This is the guy who apparently the Merb Manson cult, or Manson Merb cult, hired to go kill Earl. He looks dangerous, doesn't he? He's a confused old man. And what was he doing there? He was distributing flyers that look like something a proud mother would put on her refrigerator and congratulate her kindergartner for having done such good spelling and penmanship. This is it. Now, why would this kill Earl? He is literally public information. He is literally public information. This is the Texas Public Sex Offender website. It is public information. What is this going to do? It certainly isn't going to kill somebody. Hitmen don't show up to open carry Texas events and hand out flyers. That is the least effective hitman in the world. They certainly don't show up to open carry Texas events when their target isn't even there. Auditor Truth knows what Earl looks like. If Auditor Truth was actually going to try to kill Earl, he probably would have looked for Earl. Anyway, this is all nonsense. This is all nonsense that is just designed to gin up drama. It's designed to gin up views, controversy. Look at this, 18,000 views. I'm sure it's driving people over to his, in air quotes, son's website. So, members of the Merb cult came out to try to kill me today. Just crazy. Just fucking crazy. Anyway, I hope this helps. I hope this sheds some light onto what this guy is about. He is a congenital liar. His whole thing, by the way, at the end about this. They are fully aware my daughter participates in plotting these attacks. It's not an attack. It's somebody going out to hand out leaflets. That's not an attack, Earl. And yes, his daughter thinks Earl raped her. That's why she is doing this, whatever she's doing. Obviously, Earl thinks she's a liar, because if Earl doesn't say she's a liar, then Earl's admitting to have raped her or sexually molested her. He says this is an attempt on his life. It's the latest in a long string of harassment. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, which has been condoned by the authorities. He's claiming that this Karen Ogg, the district attorney for Harris County, he's claiming that she's covering up a leak in the DA's department. I hate to break this to you, but criminal trials are public. Every piece of evidence that they are going to put out there is going to be put out into the public. The DA can make statements. The DA can literally make statements. I don't know what he thinks she's leaked. I haven't seen anything. You can go to the Harris County website and you could look up the information on the trial. That's how I know what's going on with it. Because I go to the Harris County website, the Harris County clerk's website, and you could look up criminal case information and it will show you the details. None of this is all just him trying to make drama. Anyway, I've wasted enough time on this. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.